Now, I think this is the one when he was explaining how the indigenous people of America discovered Europe. So I'm gonna play that one now.
Hey, shouts out to ya. I see ya. Welcome to the page of Here's a Great Britain. As you can guys see right here, I do have an Irish flag in the background.
Notice I said OCO. Listen to what he just said. Listen to what I just said. I say OCO. And then I told y'all that that's another way of saying I see you. That is the greeting. I see you. Listen, even with his accent, watch this. Listen closely.
Hey, shouts out to ya. I see ya. Welcome to the page.
Okay? When some of y'all answer the phone, you say, yo, you just doing a shorter version. Certain people will say CO. They might not say OCO. CO. I see you. That is from the Algonquin language. Now, some people are going to say that that's Cherokee. Some people are going to say that that's Kituwa. No, that's the Algonquin language. The Algonquin language is the mother language of this landmass. They took from 20, the way they created the English language is that they took 28 different native tongues of the Algonquin language. That's documented. They didn't get it from Europe. They didn't get it from anywhere else that you could think of. They told you. And who is they, Dane? Now listen to me. I didn't gave this source multiple times, but it was Noah Webster. And this can be verified by the Noah Webster Foundation because they said Noah Webster said it. So that is the direct source. Noah Webster is the author of the what? The American Dictionary of the English Language. And if you go back on my documentaries, I broke down where it came from. Why do they need to lie? They told you where English came from, and they did not mention England not one time. And I told you because it wasn't called England. It was England. It was the land of the Angles. That's a tribe, not the Anglo-Saxons. The Saxons came with them later. We're talking about original now. You'll see.
Here's a Great Britain. As you can guys see right here, I do have an Irish flag in the background now.
This is the reason why you see a lot of people will say that they have a lot of British in their family bloodline. And some people will also say that a lot of the Europeans or the people of that landmass, I don't like to use the term European because that's a European, but of Eurasia, of that landmass is from here. The reason why is because we did a lot of trading amongst each other. That was one of our trade lines. This is the reason why you see a lot of similarities that still exist out there now. They gave us our props. You would see it within their artistry. You would see it within not only their tobacco stores, this is all over their buildings. This is all in their paintings. This is all in what you would call ancient artifacts that are in Eurasia. They showed you it was us. I'm about to show y'all something. Matter of fact, let me play this because I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna come right back to that, what I just said. I'm about to come right back to that. I'm not gonna forget, I promise, watch. I'm gonna show y'all something.
My ancestors came from Ireland, Scotland, and Britain. And they actually were deported during Jacobite Rebellion. So this guy is a living example. That's why I waited a few hours before I answer when everybody else is like, oh, I didn't know there were, Aborigines still in the British Isles. Yes, we still live in the British Isles, I grew up in the United States when my ancestors and my grandparents already knew better. They came from the British Isles. All right. During this time, there were some of us from the British Isles that were deported during the Jacobite Rebellion. Those are the people like himself, if he is from the British Isles. I'm talking about born, bred, and ancestors from there, like myself. Then guess what that means, That means that proves what I've been seeing. And I don't need to see this video to prove that, but because a lot of y'all have sent me this one in my DMs. I do appreciate y'all. I didn't respond because I've been talking about how we have so-called copper-colored or brown-skinned people, in Scotland. I've been saying that. I even showed you statistics on my page. If you go back far enough, you're going to see how many numbers, that are there. Of how many of us are in Ireland, Scotland, Britain, Germany, right?
Yes, especially Germans. Especially, hold on. I'm glad he said that, especially German. Now, Now, this is going to be something that some of y'all not going to like, okay? This the reason why a lot of y'all that know Top Cats, y'all was giving him a lot of flack, and I was telling y'all that Top Cats was right. Some of y'all was mad, but I knew Top Cats was right. I already did my research, and I told you. He just told you a different way. And he was telling you directly at the same time, just like I was. This is the reason why you would see that you have it's not because you have white in your bloodline. It's because your ancestors moved. That's it. Your ancestors moved back and forth. Now think about it, and I'm gonna drop a bomb right here. I'm about to tell y'all something. There's a segment that I'm gonna put out, and I'm gonna give you a heads up. I need y'all to, okay, remember these pictures that I was showing y'all? And it was real pictures, not AI. I was showing y'all real pictures of, let me use the term Niji, who were inside of the KKK. Remember that? Remember how they told you that the KKK was against our people, right? But our people was in the KKK. I need y'all to hear me. The reason why I was showing y'all that and telling y'all that was because it's true. Because who started the KKK? Was it the British? Was it the Irish? Look, talk to me. Talk to me. Who started the KKK? I'm looking at the chat. Tell me who started the KKK. No. The Democrats brought them out. The Democrats promoted them in order for, listen, y'all, listen. Not politically. I'm talking about what group of people, not a political party. What group of, yes, the Puritans. That's very good. That's a very good answer, Rex. Very good answer. Very good answer, Rex. Okay? That is their religious practice. Very good, Rex. Okay, and the what? Okay, somebody said in Italian. So y'all said no, hold up. No, not the French. No, hold up. Y'all said the Irish, y'all said the Scottish. I seen a lot of people said Quakers. They were in there too. But yes, the Protestants was in there dominating. Yes. But you got to understand. Okay, let me explain. The people that they're claiming, oh man, come on, YouTube. I hope that YouTube don't try to do something right now, because I want to explain something. The Illuminati is real. It's just not, listen to what I just said. The Illuminati is real. Listen to what I just said. The Illuminati is real. I'm going to say it. I got to do it that way so y'all can hear it a couple times as an underlying message. It is real. In other words, they are a group of people. They are the illuminated ones. Now, who are they? Those are the people that were against the Catholics. Notice that when I told y'all who are the real, and I saw a lot of y'all asking, Dane, you never put out a segment on who the Native Americans are. Yes, the hell I did, and I got in trouble for it. As soon as I put that out, then randomly, a group of them tried to sue me. Randomly, as soon as I put out part 1 and part 2, that happened right after that. Because I told the truth. I told y'all that the Native American Party stood against the Catholics. And who was that? That was the illuminated ones. Who are they? And those are the same people that got involved in the KKK. No, the Jesuits was with the Catholics. They was hand in hand. Come on, let's talk. Right, yes, the Native American Party was the Know-Nothings, the third largest political party during the time period of the Federalists and the Whigs. Now I'm making sure that I repeat it the exact same way so you won't ever forget that. The Native American Party was the third largest political party in America during the time period of the Federalists and the Whigs. I look at my videos. I showed you this. I'm not playing. They were against the Catholics. It's always a Protestant. Look, let me be careful right here. The entire government is being controlled by the Protestants. Listen, they being controlled. They going off the Puritan way of life. I showed you that. I gave you the quote. Look, you would think that it's going back to the Catholics because you think Catholic Pope, the Vatican, they working hand in hand. They the same people. They the same people. I'm trying to tell you that this is their history though. So if you look at their history, you're going to see who your enemy is. It's not hard. It's really not. They actually got it right in front of you. They really do. Like, they not hiding nothing. It's really in front of you. Like, for when they say the Illuminati is hiding, no, they're not. And they're just not the fraternities and sororities. In fact, the fraternities and sororities that you guys are familiar with, I'm sure some of you may have heard of Boule, Sigma Pi Phi, and you got all these Greek letter fraternities, Greek, Rome, England, wait a minute, German, dramatic, drama. It was dramatic. Hold up. I got talking code. Got to. Because they're going, you know how they be doing. And y'all saw how they did me multiple times. Y'all know. Yeah, the Danes are the people of the Denmark, from Denmark. Yeah, but Germans at the top. Germans was number one on that side. Germans at the top. Okay? Yes, the Dutch, yes. And that's why the Dutch kept giving us props, didn't they? I showed you that. And the Dutch watched my stuff. They the ones that corrected me and said that we pronouncing it wrong. It's Dush. It's Dush. And they authentic. I seen them. Video call. Shout out to the Dush. That's German. Yes, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, they not playing. So when I see another brother in the UK that's not playing, yeah, tell him I said come through. Tell him pull up.
Ancestry also. Italian, of copper skin, right? Switzerland. All of those places, we've all been lied to. I keep saying that. That's the whole point. This is not color coordinated. A lot of you guys come out the woodwork, all this is color coordinated. It's not color coordinated. You were taught lies that you come from those lands. And we, in this comment here, we come from those lands. Those are lands that we originated on.
America is the motherland. I told you this is Big Mama. See, everybody got hooked onto Pangea because of the Hebrew Israelite stuff. And remember when I told y'all that the Hebrew Israelites were the closest? A lot of content creators don't like me when I say that. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I was the only one that is not religious, and I told y'all that the Hebrew Israelites were the closest because they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were saying, but they had the Hebrew Israelites got different terms when they're using the Bible. But they are talking about the people of this landmass. They are right. They are correct. They are. I'm going to tell you that. They are. Because when you pull up their research, if you go beyond America, you have to go beyond America because it's going to go right back to America. You're going to actually see the whole picture. You're going to see that this is grandma for a reason. It ain't Africa. Africa ain't big enough. Africa ain't nowhere near the same size as North America, Central America, and America. It ain't nowhere near the same size as Atlantis. Ain't nowhere near Atlantis, Atlas, the land of the mountains. That's what that means. It wasn't up underwater. It was never up underwater. They lied to y'all. They lied to y'all. They sure did. That's why I want y'all to stop clinging on to them Deuteronomy curses. Hold on, let me talk for a second, y'all. Hold up. Stop attaching yourselves to them Deuteronomy curses. That's your enemy that did that. Your enemy did that. That wasn't God. Your enemy did that. Stop that. That's not you. You are not cursed. No, you are not. You are the chosen people. If you claim that you Hebrew, you need to stop doing that. You are not tied to those curses. If you know who your enemy is for real, you would know better. You won't do that. That's not debatable. You're doing your ancestors a disservice. This is our land. Get it correct. You don't gotta run to Israel when it is real over here. We ain't talking about lands that man made. We talking about lands the Creator made here, right here. You better put some respect on her name.
So you should be the helpmates telling the truth rather than being the so-called prisoners of prisoners that was, brought to these countries to serve us at that time. And then we gave you another chance and then you turned against us. Oh yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Every single world that you think about was of copper-toned skin, even in Scotland. Right? You want me to go ahead? I'm going to start dropping all of them again on my page again. I'm going to recycle.
Hold on, I got to go back a little bit. Hold on, because Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
And we, in this comment here, we come from those lands. Those are lands that we originate on. So you should be the helpmates telling the truth rather than being the so-called prisoners of prisoners that was, brought to these countries to serve us at that time. And then we gave you another chance and then you turned against us. Oh yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Every single world that you think about was of copper toned skin, even in Scotland. Right? You want me to go ahead? I'm going to start dropping all of them again on my page again. I'm going to recycle.
Didn't I tell y'all that we was in every war? This brother, no. Hey, this brother fire. I told y'all that we was in every war. It wasn't enough of them. If it wasn't for us, it would be no them. There wasn't enough of them. They were not over here in large mass. I told you that. I showed you that. I went over the census. When I went over the census and told you what it was, I told you who they were counting. They could not come to every landmass. They would get their tails cooked. We are warriors, goddammit. You think we just gonna sit back and let them walk? Yeah, come on in, y'all. It's okay, we not gonna fight. You are out of your mind when our brothers and sisters are fighting over streets right now that we don't own. We are territorial. We are territorial. We are warriors. Listen, didn't they call this Indian territory? Stop playing with me. And I'm just taking it light. I showed you Jerusalem in Virginia on camera. Didn't I? Not know, oh, here's some paperwork only. I showed you on camera. Look, you can't take that from me. Talk. I seen it. I was there. I felt it. Yeah, and that's old. Yes, back in 2017. That's old videos. Been seen it. They don't want you to know what's going on. But you know what's going on. You feel it in your spirit. You know better. Your ancestors telling you. They say let your conscience be your guide. But how are you going to listen to your conscience if you ain't conscious enough to know who you listening to on the other side? If you can be easily manipulated by a complete stranger today, are you trustworthy for yourself to trust that person on the other side that you're listening to? You got to make sure that ain't your enemy. There's only one way for you to find that out. It ain't hard. You got to know yourself. When you do universal laws, they mean that in every step of the way. Universally, this is known. You got to become one with yourself. You're trusted, Dane. I appreciate that, James. I appreciate that, but I tell people all the time, don't believe me. Write it down, look it up. And what I say right behind it, I dare you. And I've been saying this for years, and look at it now. Look at it now. I'm so glad that this is happening. Y'all just don't understand. This is amazing that this is happening. I thought it was going to be later. I ain't know it was going to be this fast. Now I'm like, shit, hurry up. Like, please. We got shit to do.
Over and over. So you guys get used to knowing that we are the original heirs of the throne in the British Isles and all throughout Europe. All right? That's not including Australia as well and other nations out here. All right? The Americas everywhere on the planet. We're still around the world as Aborigines, you know? So you need to realize that.
Listen. Oh, you think just, that's it? You think just, is this the Europeans over here? That's it? What you think? We ain't branch out? If they was here, we were there. Talking about before those pale faces. His name is Alaskan Whiskey, and I believe that's on TikTok, y'all. Y'all got it. I don't know if y'all told me that. Is he on TikTok? I think this is TikTok though, if I'm not mistaken. But his name is Alaskan Whiskey.
All right.
Yep.
This isn't fabrication. I have my family tree to prove this. Right? People have always told me I didn't come from the United States. Even though I know we left the United States long ago to go to the British Isles. That's another thing. If you're watching this, brother, do not believe the concept that your ancestors, if you are born and bred, I'm talking originally from Scotland or the British Isles or any part of Europe, do not believe that you came from Africa, because you didn't. A lot of the migration came from the Americas. All right, we've proven that on these channels. All right, so we've proven that already. All right, and then from there, other countries of the world. all right? And then we built up those societies.
Thank
as
you.
Aborigines, right?
Thank
I'm currently
you.
in Manila, Philippines.
They copied us. I told you that.
Right? And some of the other tribes, they are connected to the so-called Black American, which is the American Indian, right? The Aborigine of the lands. So that's the lies they have perpetuated. Oh yeah, they came from Africa all the way up into Europe. No, they came from America, the American discovery of Europe. That's the truth, right? And I've covered this many times on my channel. So it's good to see. If you are Aboriginal Scotsman, it's good to see you, man. Right? And we need to start getting these pages and start having them share the truth of the region they're in. Oh, a lot of people ain't gonna be happy to see this guy because these
absolutely
are guys
not.
Been hiding. Guys like this, they've been hiding.
They not.
Guys
and
like
I'm not gonna
hiding.
lie. I'm glad that we got haters now. I'm glad. At first I was like, damn, man, I'm mad that we got haters. I know we doing something right, but I actually wanted to see more. And now that I see more, I'm glad that we got haters. I'm like, fuck, man, listen, like y'all, I know a lot of y'all out there that be doing content, be responding to them haters. Like some of them, yeah, but not really. Like for what? Like let them be mad. They'll get over it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I done seen people cuss me out and they return and apologize to me and tell me, Dane, I'm sorry. I used to be against you for years. Man, I finally decided to do my research on my family, and you was right and exact. I apologize, Dane. This happened all the time. It happened all the time, and you know what I say? I told you so. I told you. What'd I say? It won't ever fail. It's like damn near guaranteed. I'm not gonna say guaranteed because some of y'all probably not from here. You gotta do your research, but it's damn near a guarantee.
Even though I grew up in the United States, right? But they've been hiding people like us. Now we're coming to the forefront, telling them what we truly are. I'm not no African. I didn't come from Africa. I didn't migrate. My ancestors didn't migrate to the British Isles. They were already in the British Isles. In fact, Kenneth the Niger McAlpin, right? The Niger means the black, right? That's what it means literally in Old English. It means the black. So what do you mean? That's one of my oldest ancestors. Kenneth the Niger McAlpin, right? Van Dub was the first one. Okay, Dub means black in Old English. My ancestors, some of them come from Ireland, right? In Northern Ireland as well. Or yeah, Northern Ireland, I think, and also Northern Scotland as well too, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, but you want to forget about that though. And then the best part is, what does Dublin mean? Dub and black. It means black, all right? That's Old English. So guess what that means? Dublin, city of blacks. Yeah, you guys were definitely called Dublin people. No, you were never called Dublin people. And Van Dub was a man of color. He was copper color, copper tone skin. We don't do black over here. Black means dead and living, right? And the black.
But if you listen to him closely, like if I know he probably didn't even see it this way neither. Doubling in people. That's what's happening to us. They can't stop us. Okay? We are the biggest families out here, more so than anybody. We are the majority of the people. We have been the majority of the people for a long time. Don't let them lie to you about that. We've been doubling for a long time.
Soul Dictionary, 16th edition. Right? You got to really dig into the stuff and know what black truly means. I just use it for historical context, but then I use swarthy, which means in Old English and Old Black. So that's all I use. And you hear that many times throughout history. I don't know if they know this in Scotland, at least what they teach to him, but a lot of the textbooks that we put on these pages, teaches the truth. And it shows you swarthy multiple times. And we even have the portraits of the royals. They're not white people. Now, we don't say that to be like, we don't like white people. We say that they're liars. And they planted the white people in the roles that you should be in.
I was showing y'all that was the History Channel showing their Asian communities that Christopher Columbus was black. All of their Asian channels was getting shown that Christopher Columbus was black. And they just kept it pushing like it was nothing. Like it was known to them. And I showed y'all that.
That's all it is. Or Asia, same
now,
thing.
Now, they said that he discovered America. Okay. Now, if he discovered America, he was able to come over here and blend in and get along with the people. Because did we ever hear Christopher Columbus going into war for coming and a territory he unfamiliar with. I mean, he had to have some more people with him that looked just like him in order for him to be accepted onto this land where he ain't had to worry about going to war. Everybody else had to go to war, but he was able to be an explorer, a spy. His duty was to spy. That's what an explorer is. So he was working for someone. That was his job, right? He came over here and they have to go to war. Okay. And he was white because everybody else that was white that came had to go to war. That's why they only count 61 documented wars in the 1800s. 61. In the 1800s, they only count 61 documented wars in the 1800s in America. 61. Are you kidding me? 61? We could look up one state right now. Listen, and I hate to say it this way, but we could look at their crime rate and see that people be dying. You know what I mean? 61 documented wars in the 1800s in 100. 200 years, like we just 61. Like you gonna act like people couldn't. Y'all act like y'all came over here and took over. See, they made y'all believe that these white folks was in control. Like these white folks had it locked down. They ain't had nothing locked down like how they tried to claim they did, yeah? Nothing. And at the same time, when we told you that the Native Americans came about in the 1850s, do you know that that's the same year that you were able to vote for a president? That's when voting started. Something ain't right with that, huh? I'm talking about in America, 1850s. That's when the voting started that you're doing right now, voting on the president. And that's the same time the Native Americans came. They're gonna say the Chinese came a little bit before that. What I don't like is the fact that they tried to say that the Chinese did our railroads. Now that's cap. That's the reason why they wanted you to believe, or not believe rather, and not look at the Underground Railroads, because they're still there. Our ancestors built underground tunnels throughout the Americas. That's how they traveled. They traveled underground. Because think about that. If a territory was blocked off by ice, how else you gonna get through that ice? I can't hear you. Say it louder. How else you gonna get through that ice? You gonna fly above it when planes didn't exist? You just gonna ram it with the boat as if it can handle feet of ice. Nah, you gonna go underground. You gonna go underground. And that's why they telling you Atlantis is underground. Because a lot of landmass was lost over time because of accretion happened, which just simply means that water rised, but the land is still there. It's just underwater. But if it was here, it would be a part of our landmass. I'm talking about above water. But it is here. It's still connected. This whole entire landmass is still connected. It's called Gondwana. It wasn't Pangea. It was Gondwana. That's Gondwana. That's the landmass. It's still together. They trying to make pretend like they're separate, but they're not. Not in the way they draw it out to be on a map. They're actually closer than you think. We're only separated by water, but that doesn't mean that the land is not connected up under it. And on the maps, these are imaginary lines of people claiming territories. Thank y'all, Levante and Blue. That's the correct spelling of Gondwana. That's it right there. Yeah, accretion. That's what that means. Water rising. Accretion. Now, they doing some man-made stuff in this territory. Hurricanes and all the rest of that. Tornadoes. They doing a lot of manipulating the weather, and everybody know that. So it's making things worse. They gonna say it's for climate change, but nah, not really. It's for you to grow more, crops in certain territories. They spraying chaff in the air. They doing a whole bunch of stuff because they feel as though that's necessary. But How? When it wasn't there before. Our ancestors didn't have that, and they survived. You gotta get back to the norm. Like,
Honor an Asian, it's the same thing. All right? Or in Mexico, Latin America, it's the same thing. I lived in Mexico for 8 years. All right? So I've been all over the planet. We're all getting there. All right? But I've been on different continents. Okay? So, shouts out to this brother. Like I said before, if you are original Scotsman, you are the original bloodline of the land. Do not let them tell you came from Africa. You turning that way, looking at another landmass. You come from right there. You come from the land you're standing on. It drops them insane. Some of us didn't make it. Jacobite Rebellion. And I will break that down on my page if you're unfamiliar with it. Those are all copper-toned people. All right? Some YTs did help us, but it was mostly copper-toned. All right? And we ended up getting deported to the Americas, Australia, the Caribbean, right? Some even to Africa, which is the worst out of all. That's the worst imprisonment.
It's called the Bloody Code. Remember when I told y'all about the Bloody Code and they were sentenced to transportation? They got sentenced, they got cast to America and like places like Alaska and Canada, Australia. This was happening.
Their documents were destroyed. So they don't even know that they go back to the British Isles or other parts of Europe. That's the kicker. So shouts out to your brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate seeing that video and all you guys sharing. I finally answered, all right, because you guys kept saying that I need to answer this guy.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to this brother. Yeah. Shout out to this brother, man. His name is Alaskan Whiskey, and I think that's on TikTok, right, y'all? Shout out to that brother.